am the greatest.
Be water, my friend.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. No, it's a mutual friend, Niall Megan, so he got me in contact with yourself. So it's good that you had the time. I know you're a busy man to come online today, so thank you very much.
Hey, not a problem. Where are you located? Are you in Ireland?
Ireland. I live between Belfast and Dublin, right in the middle.
I'll be there. So tell me if I pronounce your name right. Is it Cahill?
Perfect. That's perfect. That's brilliant.
One of my fighters a few years back fought a Cahill. So that's how I learned how to pronounce the name.
That's the first time ever anyone, even English people, Irish people, have trouble with that. So that's brilliant.
Yeah. We don't really know how to speak real English here in America. We speak American. Yeah. We butcher the English language. Oh my goodness.
That's a great. That's not too often get people to pronounce my name correctly. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, not a problem. So
brilliant.
What's up in Ireland?
Oh, well, we're still in lockdown in Ireland. Still, nothing's opened. Only supermarkets. Nothing. Gyms are closed. Schools are closed. Everything's closed.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm an old school sort of guy, I guess. By today's standards, I just don't understand it. It's insane that our world has succumbed to this. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you want to call it. It's madness.
Everything just stopped, which is nuts.
It's nuts. That's exactly right. It's the thumb of tyranny. Yeah. I don't want to get political or anything like that, but that's the case.
Yeah, because in Ireland, the cases are so small. There's in my area of 100,000 people, there's 12 cases a week. So if everyone's closed for 12, at the very start, we were all scared that there could be everyone's going to die. But
yeah, I went through it. First 2 or 3 days, it was, I felt pretty bad. Mm-hmm. But then I was out of commission probably for maybe 8 days, 7 days, 8 days. But the first 2 days were the worst. I felt really bad. And then the rest of the time I just felt exhausted, just tired. Right. I just laid around, didn't do anything. No, it's ridiculous. No. It's, ain't much worse than the flu.
Yeah. There's more people die of the flu every year than the COVID.
Yeah. It's crazy.
No,
it's crazy.
Unfortunately, but
so what's up?
No, it's good. No, I just I want to get you on the podcast. I speak to a lot of martial artists around the world. In my background, I'm ATF Taekwondo. I know. Oh yeah. I know your background in karate is quite similar to ATF Taekwondo. It's from the same sort of family.
We're a blend system. Our style is a blend style of karate. It's Kempo system. Kempo is probably, if you gave percentages, it would be like 80% stand up, 20% ground, a low ground percentage, something to that effect. So it's we don't do a whole lot of ground system in a whole lot of groundwork in our karate style. Uh-huh. Of course, we have an MMA system as well, so you know what that's all about.
Yeah.
But as far as our karate style is concerned, we have a fairly large student base here at our school. But as far as our karate is concerned, we do some ground technique, but the majority of our ground technique is designed and geared toward getting the fighter back to their feet so that they can do their, do what they need to do, whether it be get up and get out of there or stand up and take care of business, whatever they need to do.
Yeah, that's great, because that's something that my background too is similar to that. Like, we learn to stand up, the front leg side kicks to keep your opponent away. So if you get to the ground, get up as quick as possible to do your damage.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. That's our philosophy as well. So I think it's a great philosophy myself.
Yeah, and it's showing now at the UFC, the top level, a lot of the top fighters, including your son, of course, is using that front leg style. that moving about, don't get hit. Like my instructor had a great quote always was, get in quick, get out quicker.
That's right. That's exactly right. Get in, do your business, get out. Relocate, boom, relocate, boom, relocate, boom. That's kind of what we do.
And
that's
it's
the plan.
Upstate Karate Family Martial Arts in South Carolina, isn't it? Am I correct?
That is correct. Yes. I'm the first one in the Thompson family to study martial arts. I started my training back in March of 1974.
Whoa.
Yeah. And been at it ever since. When I originally started, it wasn't my plan to make it my livelihood, but it kind of morphed into that, and a blessing it has been. Mm-hmm. I've done lots of different jobs. I went to school to study into the trades. I went to school and studied heating and air conditioning, ventilation, HVAC. That's what I went to school for. I did that for a short period. Then I went into facilities maintenance. I'm a hands-on sort of guy. Uh-huh. So I worked at one of our local factories or plants, and I kept the building, the facility running. That's kind of what I did. But and the whole while, still doing my martial arts training. And one day the company I worked for had a big issue, which caused a lot of people getting laid off from work. So, and I had just opened my karate school. I just opened it here in the area that I recently moved to. So I moved to this area. I'm originally from about 3 hours south of here where I'm living now. So I moved up this way and started working, opened up my school, and about 3 months later, I got laid off from work. Yeah. So, you know what? I was thrown into it. We decided we're just going to jump in there and build it and work it and work it and build it. And we did. And we're still here at it 38 years later.
So it was the best thing ever to get laid off, to get that perseverance to push on to achieve that goal.
Yes, it was one of the best things, definitely the best thing I've ever done. So
it's funny how life just turns corners, isn't it? Like I'm a great believer. There's a path for everyone, and that was the path you're on. That you had to change. Something had to change for you to achieve your real path.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There is a path for everyone, but unfortunately, not everyone finds it, or not everyone's willing to work or do what it takes to get on that path. I was blessed in that my wife she's a believer in what we do, believer in the martial arts, and she's also she's a go-getter. My wife's a go-getter. She believes in she's not afraid to work. She's a hard-working woman, and she's a motivated woman. And if you're going to hang with her, you better be on your A game. We call her Miss T, Wonderboy's mom, and she's the brain behind the business, and I'm the brawn.
Brilliant. Yes, that's perfect. That's you need a brain behind everything.
Yeah, she's a good one. She's a big brain too, and she's very smart. And we've grown our business. When we started with somewhere around 30 students, and over time, and even through the COVID thing, we currently we are as of last night. Give me a second, I'll tell you. As of last night, we are. I got to pull it up on my computer. Excuse me, folks, as I pull it up. As of last night, we are 755 active students.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what we have in our school right now. But that includes a bunch of different styles. We teach more than one style. We teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We have, of course, our karate style, which is it's our largest style that we teach here. We have a mixed martial art program. We have kickboxing program. We have a fitness program. We have actually 2 different fitness programs going on. We have what we call MMA fitness, which is a program that I teach here. We do that 3 days a week. And then we have what we call 5-5s,
right?
Which 5-5s, it's reminiscent of 5-minute rounds, which is what you do in a title fight in an MMA match. So we got a program called 5-5s, and I have a strength coach, fitness coach, Wonderboy's strength coach actually, that teaches that class at 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 days a week. So we have a fairly good sized school, 755 active students. So we're pretty busy.
That's pretty good. I've seen your facilities on like Instagram, on YouTube and all. Like, it's a great facility. It's huge.
Yeah. We have our facility itself is 19,250 square feet.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's mine's 2,000 square feet, and mine's big. Everybody 19,000. Brilliant.
Yeah. We built this a year and a half ago.
That's right. I've seen that. That's right. Yes.
Yeah. And about 4 months in, COVID hit. Boom, boy. We were what?
Yeah.
And everything started shutting down. We were like, oh no, what's going to happen now? So we were running and gunning, but surprisingly, we only lost about 50 students during that whole thing.
Brilliant.
We did virtual classes.
Yep.
And we were doing virtual classes, teaching. Our students stayed with us. So we were surprised. We thought they were going to just start dropping like flies, So in the whole scheme of things, I've heard of schools losing 75% of their students, just dropping out, just boom, abandoned.
Or losing facilities as well. A lot of people in Ireland are losing their gyms because they can't afford to pay the rent because they can't open.
Yeah, that's right. And for some reason, I'm not too much of a conspiracy theorist. Well, maybe a little bit, but I think there's a huge underlying plan to all this lockdown stuff. I think that personally, I could be wrong, but I think I think the government around the world are looking for a one world government. It's in the Bible. They're working toward trying to achieve that. And if they can suppress the populace by shutting down businesses and making the populace largely dependent upon the government, then you're going to have control.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand.
This is a belief. I don't have any scientific evidence. I'm not a scientist. This is just a belief or a hunch that I have. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who's got this. But anyway, that's my thinking. It's all about control. When you control the people, you control the money.
Yes. And especially
it's all about the money.
In Ireland, they're closing banks. They're closing hundreds and hundreds of banks. And it's going to come to the stage, there'll be no cash in Ireland. It's going to be all cards. So then the government knows how much money you have and how much you're going to spend and where you're spending it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems to be the way it's going.
Yeah. And it's scary. But the thing is it doesn't have to go that way.
No.
If we, me, you, my people, your people, if we just say, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to participate in that. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's scary. It's a scary thing to do, but it's a necessity. I mean, really, if we're going if we're going to save our independence. If Ireland is going to be a free country, if America is going to be a free country, we got to stand up. We got to speak. We got to tell them, no, we're not going to participate, and not participate.
Yeah.
So it's easier said than done. It takes some, it's kind of scary. Oh, it's extremely scary.
Yeah.
So there's people going to be locked up. I just recently saw a video where a pastor in a church, he's from Poland, but it was happening here in America. He's a Polish pastor in a church here in America. On Good Friday, had the police and some city government people came in to their church and tried to shut it down.
Oh.
On Good Friday, the
holiest day of the year.
Yeah, the most important Christian day of the year.
Yep.
But the pastor run them out of their church, run them off, made them leave, get out, don't come back until you got a warrant. And guess what? They all left. The police, the city official, they all left because they had nothing. They were just there to bully and intimidate.
Yeah, bully, as you said there, they're going to bully.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, I want to meet that guy, that pastor. Yeah, that's the kind of guy. That's who I want to grow up and be like.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. That was great. It was great to see. He just wasn't taking it. So that's what we got to do. We got to stand up to him. And what amazes me is that there is a, I'm closing out of this. There is a, why as governmental officials, why do you want to make so many lives miserable? I mean, just think of the millions of people around the world that are going to live miserable lives because of a few that want to suck all the blood we have out of our system and just make our lives miserable. I understand the logic in that, or the selfishness. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just such a evil and selfish mentality, all for money. These people that are up there are filthy rich anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So I just don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, what do I know? I'm just a karate
busy world.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get off that. Let's get on martial arts.
Martial art. I remember reading something before, and that one of the reasons why you get into karate is because you're a big Elvis Presley fan. Is that correct?
That is correct. Elvis Presley's my boy. Hold on a minute. Let me take you a little tour of my office.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over here, this is my office. Over here, check out my little Elvis. Those were gifts, by the way. Oh, I'm also a Mandalorian fan. There's Baby Yoda. Yeah. So there's my Elvis 1, and there's my Elvis 2 over there. Can you see him over there?
Yeah, we pop one.
My little guy over here, and big guy over there, right there. This right here was a gift. This was made back in hold on. Back in 90 something. This was circa 90s Elvis, still in the original package.
Like brand new.
Yeah, that was a gift. To the wall, I have my little Elvis.
Cool.
And right in the center of that, there's actually a hair from supposed to be Elvis's head, actually. So I have Elvis DNA in my office. I may have to clone him. I have to clone him out of that. Clone Elvis out of that DNA right there. So anyway, that's about the extent of my Elvis memorabilia.
Yes.
Yeah. Elvis was when I was a kid, my mom, she loved Elvis Presley. This was back in the 60s. She loved Elvis Presley, and if there was an Elvis Presley movie coming on, the TV was coming on, and Elvis is what we were all watching. So we would watch Elvis do his thing. He was cool, you know. He was singing and dancing and moving and wooing all the ladies. But every now and again, Elvis would do this cool karate stuff. I'm like, whoa, look at that. I knew I would never be. I can't sing a lick. I knew I couldn't dance like Elvis or none of that, and definitely not as pretty as he was. So I thought, well, you know what? Maybe if I can learn that karate stuff, maybe I'll be a little cool like him. So that's my thinking as a kid. So, but I had no clue where I would ever learn karate. So I went off to school, and I went to military school actually. 4 years military high school, loved it. It was some of the best 4 years of my life. But in my senior year, my last year, about 3 months prior to school, me graduating, this guy came to our school and offered to teach classes at our school. Boom, I jumped on it and been at it ever since. I started in March of 1974 is when I started training. So, and this is what I do. That's been cool. training up pretty much all but 18 years of my life.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Because I was reading too that in 1980 you were the toughest man in South Carolina. Competition.
That was a unique experience right there. It was a no rules tournament.
Right.
Stand up to the ground. It had, let's see, wow. You couldn't bite. You couldn't eye gouge. Of course, you had boxing gloves on back then. You didn't have MMA gloves. You couldn't eye gouge. Of course, you couldn't do that anyway. You couldn't hit straight to the throat. You could kick the groin, but it had to be straight in. You couldn't go straight up between the legs.
Okay.
That was pretty much the rules.
Whoa.
Stand up to the ground. Oh, when you went to the ground, you only had 10 seconds on the ground. That was it. Then you had to stand you back up and get back at it. This was 1980.
Mad.
So that was 41 years ago.
Oh, put it that way.
Isn't that crazy? So yeah, that was the tournament. There were 32 fighters in it, 32 guys. I fought one time I fought once on Friday, then I had to fight 4 times on Saturday.
Right.
It was a pretty unique tournament. Yeah. One weight class, 165 and up.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was about 215-ish at the time. I fought the lightest guy in the tournament, and I fought the biggest guy in the tournament. The biggest guy weighed 340 pounds. Yeah. But I had to fight the smallest guy in the tournament who weighed 165. I had to fight him for the championship. So it was 2 brackets. They had 16 on one side and 16 on the other. And I think they put the bigger guys on the one bracket and the smaller guys in the other bracket. And then we fought to the end of those brackets, and then we had to fight each other. So, and that was the first time I ever did a rear naked choke
in that tournament.
Yeah, I had no idea really what a rear naked choke was at the time. This is 40 something years ago. This was 12 or 13 years before the first UFC. So this little guy, he came at me. He's a boxer, straight up boxer. That's all he knew. And he was trying to rip my head off. So I slipped one, I faded back on one, and he stumbled toward me, and I reached over and grabbed him around the head, and I spun him around, and we went straight to the ground. I landed on my back. He landed on top. All I did was grab him around the neck and started pulling. I didn't even do a legit real rear naked choke. It was me bulldogging, grabbing him and stretching him out.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked for me. And of course, thank goodness he tapped. He didn't, he had never been put in that situation. And so he wasn't sure what was going to happen. So he tapped pretty quick. Thank goodness.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And we met earlier on, your son is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Did you see from a young age that he was going to be like so successful in martial arts? Because like he was top level kickboxing league and World Combat League, and then fought for the UFC title. I think it was twice, I believe.
He did what? Say it again.
He fought for a UFC title twice.
He fought for UFC
title, the belt.
Title.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he fought twice for the title. He got a fight coming. Yeah, very early. You know, I have 5 kids, 3 boys and 2 girls. All but one of my oldest child, my daughter, she was the first one to compete in kickboxing. She fought kickboxing. She started before Steven did. She fought a couple times. She wanted to try it, so we did. And she did good. She only fought twice, but she won both of those. Thank goodness. Her first fight, I put her up against a girl who was a national champion. The girl was smaller than my daughter. My daughter was a little bit larger, so there was a little bit of that. But my daughter just outworked her. So she beat her, and then she fought one more time, and fought a young lady that was considerably larger than she was, and my daughter beat her too. Knocked her opponent out with a lead leg hook kick.
Lovely.
Lead leg hook kick to the head. Boom, just dropped her. And anyway, and then Steven came in after her. And when Steven came on, boy, oh boy, I threw him in deep water first fight. He was 16 years old. He fought a guy that was in his mid-20s. I knew he had talent. I knew Steven had talent, but I wasn't sure what his toughness was like. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because the only thing I had to compare it to was was from his teammates that he's trained with here at our school. So he'd never competed before. So I didn't really know what he was going to be like in a competitive environment. So I threw him in deep. I wanted to see what he had. Mm-hmm. He fought a guy for his first fight. He fought a guy that was in his mid-20s. He had more than 20 fights, and he was undefeated. So Steven got out there and beat the socks off this guy, and the guy never knew. I mean, nobody knew what Steve was, what he had. I didn't either. I was trying to find out. Yeah. And it was at that point I knew I got my hands on somebody special right here. Mm-hmm. So, and he fought 57 times as a kickboxer, 37 Emmys, and the rest were pro. And he was in the whole course of that, he won every fight. He had one draw, and he was undefeated as a kickboxer. There was an event that happened at the World Combat League. A situation that happened in the World Combat League when he fought there. He fought a guy by the name of Raymond Daniels.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
At the WCL. So he fought Raymond, and they were really building this fight up. And they were building up as the karate guy fighting the kickboxer. Mm-hmm. So they promoted Steven as being the kickboxer. Mm-hmm. Well, he's a karate guy.
Yeah.
He's a karate guy. They didn't want to build it karate guy on karate guy. So they built it as karate guy Raymond Daniels fighting the kickboxer Steven Thompson. So it was a pretty, it's easy to make it sound. There was some politics playing in this fight. There was some serious politics playing in this fight. So what ended up happening was Steven blitzed Raymond during the match, and Raymond clinched him. Clinch is legal.
Mm-hmm.
But when you clinch, you're allowed to throw, you can clinch, throw one strike, and then you must release.
Yes.
You're not allowed to what we call ragdoll, grab, ragdoll, back and forth, back. You're not allowed to do that. You clinch, throw one strike, and you release. Well, what happened was that Stephen blitzed Raymond. Raymond threw a punch, and when he punched, Stephen stepped inside of it, inside of Raymond's punch, and Raymond ended up grabbing and clinching, and he ragdoll left, ragdoll right, and then he pulled straight down. And when you run in a straight line, when you move in a straight line, your feet are directly underneath you or behind you, driving you forward.
Yeah.
Well, when you're taken offline, you're going to step out and to compensate for, so you don't fall in that direction, and you're going to step back. That's what happened. Stephen stepped left, to keep from falling down on the left side, and then as Raymond ragged him the other direction, Stephen stepped right, and when Stephen stepped right, Raymond pulled straight down, which blew Stephen's knee up. I mean, it shredded it.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, ACL tore it up, MCL, PCL, all of the ligaments we thought he'd never fight again. We didn't know what. So anyway, he had to have surgery. But anyway, that was like 30 seconds into the match. This happened. And what really got me was the way Raymond Daniels was strutting around the ring like he had knocked Stephen out. Well, the move was illegal. It was an illegal maneuver. Wasn't allowed to do that. So you can't prepare for that. So anyway, they ended up giving Raymond the win. They gave him the victory, the WCL. Anyway, all that being said, over time, I protested. I protested immediately because it was illegal, and I knew it. I knew it was an illegal maneuver. But the commission, when Stephen went down, I went into the. It was a bowl-shaped ring. It wasn't really a ring. It was pretty unique. It's kind of like you see the karate combat stuff going on. You see that?
Yes.
It's kind of like a situation like that. Karate combat is a sloped platform, but it's square.
Yes.
The thing we thought it was round, had a sloped a barrier around it. So anyway, I went over the barrier, went in, and as soon as I went in, of course, the doctors came in. I had to get out of the way. So when I got out of the way, I popped up and I went straight toward the commissioner. The ISKA was sanctioning this event. So I went straight over to the commissioner. Well, guess what was going on ringside? Raymond Daniels' manager was sitting shoulder to shoulder with the commissioner of the WCL, a guy named Corey Schaefer. I'm naming names.
Yeah.
So they were buddies sitting there talking about the event. I knew right then there was going to be something bad happen.
Mm-hmm.
Sure enough, at the end of the event, they gave Raymond Daniels the win. Now, the Raymond Daniels' manager, he had no business being ringside.
No.
He didn't have a job. He wasn't serving a purpose. He was just friends with the commissioner of the WCL. So anyway, they got their wish. They gave Raymond Daniels the victory. He beat the kickboxer. The karate guy beat the kickboxer. Well, I protested. They ignored my protest. I kept protesting because I knew, I just don't get how they were okay with doing that. But anyway, nonetheless, I got it turned over to being a no contest. It should have been a DQ for Raymond Daniels.
Yes.
It should have been a DQ, but they weren't going to have that. It's kind of like our politics today. Stuff's going on. It shouldn't be going on, and they're getting away with it.
Yeah, and Raymond Daniels back then, he was the showman. So he was the boy they wanted to put all the cameras on. I remember watching it. I had to do research years ago who this Raymond Daniels is, because they always knew his name, me in Ireland.
Yeah. Well, Raymond Daniels, let me say this about Raymond Daniels. Raymond Daniels is a great fighter. Mm-hmm. He is an amazing fighter. He has done some great things. Like, you got to give him props for that. But for him to even remotely think that he beat Steven, I mean, really, come on. If you go back and look at it, and if you know the rule set, which I did because I was one of the coaches for the WCL, if you know the rule set, you knew that exactly what Raymond Daniels did was an illegal maneuver and wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. But even worse though, it happened, in the excitement of battle. Great. I see that, make it a no contest, whatever. But no, they were all about Raymond Daniels, the karate guy, beating Stephen Thompson, the kickboxer. So that was their mission that day. It would have been a great fight had that not happened, but it was an ugly situation. But anyway, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
Did they ever cross paths again or anything? Because I know Steve went to UFC, Ray went to Bellator kickboxing, now he's doing Bellator MMA, but did paths ever cross for an opportunity to get that sort of rematch?
Oh, we would love that. We would love that. We would love the opportunity to take that one back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But unfortunately, Raymond Daniels fights in a different league, different promotion. So I don't see that ever happening. But anyway, speaking of fighting, I guess you've heard
July 10th.
Huh?
July 10th, Gilbert Burns.
Yes. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a great fight. Two Gilbert Burns fought as well for a title and lost. So it's two top boys fighting for a number one contender.
Yes. So we gotta get through Gilbert Burns, and then, well, of course, Colby's still sitting at the number one spot, doing nothing, taking up space, wasting people's time. So he already got smashed once by Usman.
Yes,
I guess he wants to get it done again. Of course, I got to hand it to Colby. Colby's, he's playing the game. You can't fault him for that. I think he's a little crude, but nonetheless, he's playing the game, and he is fighting for that opportunity again, which is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Which is what every fighter in the UFC is fighting to do. So you can't fault him. I can't fault him for that. I'm not really a fan of his tactics, but who am I?
Yeah.
But Colby's when we get past Gilbert, we're gonna run through him. I'm saying right now, we're gonna run through Gilbert. Gilbert doesn't know what's coming. He thinks he does, but we're gonna do our thing. And then I'm not sure if the UFC is gonna give Wonderboy a crack at Usman, because if he does, Wonderboy would be the only guy in the top five that Usman hadn't beat.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Wonderboy is currently the only one of the top five that Usman has not already beaten. So he's beat Masvidal. He's beat Gilbert Burns. He's beat Colby. Let's see, who else is there? You have Colby. You have Burns. Oh, he beat Leon. Yeah. He beat Leon. He beat Colby, Burns, Leon. Masvidal's 4. Wonderboy's 5 currently. Mm-hmm. So Wonderboy's the only guy that Usman's not fought.
So that'd be the fight. That'd be the real challenge for Usman.
Yeah, and it'll be a real challenge for Wonderboy too, because Usman's a stud.
He's very good.
Yeah, you can't say nothing about that. But he's a grappling machine. He's a wrestler and tough and
Strong,
striking, strong, extremely strong. So that's where we're headed. We're going to go. We're going for it. We're going to make it happen.
Awesome. And like, that's the future for Stephen. What's the future hold for your club, for Upstate Karate? Like, what does the future look like? I know it's a bit different now than it was 2 years ago, but what's your plans for the future?
Well, one of my plans is to, currently we are 755 active students. What I would like to do is my goal is to achieve 1,000 students.
Okay.
That's one of my goals, 1,000 students. But I would also like to, and it's really tough in my business to employ. You can't just go to a job source place and hire somebody. You got to raise them up in your school. You know what I'm saying? I've tried to hire outside black belts from other systems. It's just, it's difficult. It's extremely difficult. I did it a couple of times and none of it really worked. What you really have to do, I think, is raise them up within your school so that they adhere to the culture of your school
and the mindset.
And they know yeah, that's right. Exactly right. So they have that, upstate karate, Kempo karate mindset, and that they can perpetuate that, along with, so that we all on the same, on the same level, same plane when it comes to teaching the students. Yes. I've hired people from other schools, and what's some of the things that are really important to us as martial arts educators and how we teach our style, well, it wasn't that important to them. Mm-hmm. And to try to get the people from other schools, black belts from other schools, to develop that mindset to adhere to what our culture is, it was really tough. So they eventually ended up going off and doing something else.
Yep.
So it's so we're going to have to, it takes us years to raise them up to get to where they can get out there and be a leader within our school. So that's a tough one, but that's our plan anyway. That's one of our plans.
So yeah, it's quite similar to Taekwondo. Like in Taekwondo, you have to be a leader in your club and your community. So if your community is doing something, you want to make sure everything is good for your community and the people around your community.
That's exactly right. Yep. And we our standards are that in order to be a part of our staff, if you are still in school, you got to have at least a B or higher in your grades. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you're C's and D's, you need to stay home and do some study. You don't need to be here at school. Yeah. Do your training, but go back home and study, get your grades up. So that's kind of what, so we make it kind of tough on ourselves a little bit, but we expect a higher standard from our staff, our team members.
Yes.
So that's kind of what makes it tough, but it's one that it's a very worthwhile expectation for our students. If you want to be a part of our team, if you want to work here, if you want to be a part of our staff, then you got to, if you're still in school, like say you got a kid in high school or whatever, you got to make sure that your grades are up to par. You got to make mom and dad happy. You got to you got to get those grades up. We want you to be smart. We want to be sharp. You get all that squared away, then you can come be a part of our staff.
Brilliant.
So, yeah.
Well, and that leaves us longer, Ray. Just sort of two last wee things I want to touch on with you. I mentioned sort of at the start that sort of MMA and UFC and all that sort of karate, taekwondo style of fighting is sort of working now. The front leg kick, the movement. Why do you find out very effective? Like especially a Wonderboy style. Like how come it works?
In boxing, they have a lead hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called a jab, right?
Yes.
They got that jab. They fire that jab, fire that jab, fire that jab. They use that jab. It's not a power strike. It can be. I've seen George Foreman put people to sleep with that. You know, I've seen, you know, Usman, I think it was Usman, knocked down Burns with the jab.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. But anyway, the jab is it's fast, it's quick, it's a probe, and it sets up that power shot. So why can't you do that with a lead leg? Mm-hmm. So that was our thinking. So we get that lead leg and we just get it out there. And of course, we know legs are stronger than arms. So if you get the sufficient speed on that leg, you get the accuracy. You know, you got that lead leg round kick. You just fired at that, boom, boom. You get that thing working. It's fast, comes out of nowhere. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
You do the same thing with the side kick. Now, when you do that lead leg side kick, if you get that hip turn right, you not only do you have a fast maneuver, fast technique, you got something that's a bone crusher. I got a buddy of mine. He's an old school Taekwondo guy. He showed me the proper technique on how to do the side thrust kick, the side kick. This guy was a hammer. So we did some training. He showed me, you need to do this, you need to do that. So that's the way I teach it.
Brilliant.
It worked. It's This guy's amazing. He's a good fella. Very powerful guy. But kicking skills, wow. And he showed me how to, you know, I was doing a side kick, right? But I wasn't getting the hip in place and this and that. And this was well after I'm a black belt. So we trained together and he said, let me show you this, let me show you that. Because his side kick, man, when he hit you with it, you stayed hit for a while. So he said, okay. So I said, man, show me what you're doing. So he tuned me up, showed me what's up. So that's the way we do it. We got an old school Taekwondo side thrust kick.
Awesome.
That we do now. Now Wonderboy will take it and he'll throw it out there and he'll jab it out there. That's really not the bone crushing side kick. That's his probe. You know what I'm saying? That's his probe kick. He didn't really get his hip way over on that one. But when he gets the hip over and when he drills it, you hurt him. But you'll see him like, let's see, who was it he fought? I think it was Masvidal. He just shot it out there, boom, hit him in the body, knocked him down. Didn't hurt him, really, just knocked him down. But he's got that pretty decent side thrust kick. But when he gets that hip into it, when he gets the hip turned over, chamber that leg and drive that heel in there, not too many people can stand that.
Brilliant. And like on with sort of power, the podcast is called a One Hit Podcast. What was the best one hit you've ever seen? Either in person, one of your students, either a boxer, the best one hit you've ever seen. Could be TV or in person.
Okay, so do you remember the Rashad Evans Chuck Liddell fight?
Yes.
Chuck Liddell was going in for the kill.
The big body
Rashad, oh man, it was straight over on the chin. That was probably the smoothest, cleanest one hit shot. That was I'm going to rate that up there. That one and Wonderboy's when he fought his first fight in the World Combat League.
Okay. When
he did the jab cross, which he didn't even hit with those two, and then he threw that back leg right into place, back leg to the neck, and knocked out that guy in that fight. That was a good one hit, if you would. That was a good one, and he did the same thing on his first fight in UFC. Mm-hmm. Same exact combination. Through the left, through the right, back foot came out of nowhere. It had to be the Rashad Evans knocking out Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was, I love Rashad. He's such an awesome guy. But at the time, Chuck Liddell was my boy, right? I mean, I was like, wow, he's Kempo guy, Chuck Liddell. So I'm pulling for the Kempo guy.
Yep.
Yeah. But next thing you know, Rashad threw that left hand. I think it was left hand. I don't remember. But anyway, he hit Chuck on the chin,
Right.
Poor Chuck, he didn't know what happened. It was a beautiful shot.
Brilliant. And how can our listeners get in touch with what Upstate Karate is doing and yourself, and Instagram, Facebook, websites?
Okay, so you can, for me, it's hold on a minute. Instagram is at Ray Thompson, I think it is.
I'll double check here.
Yeah. What is it?
I'll tell you now. Yeah, at Ray Thompson.
Yep. So Instagram is at Ray Thompson. Facebook. I have two on Facebook. I have a Ray Anthony Thompson and a Ray Thompson. I don't even go to the Ray Anthony. So right. Ray Thompson is my Facebook. I don't have a Twitter account. I got rid of that. Made me mad. The way they were treating my conservative. I'm a conservative. I don't know how you stand politically. I'm a conservative. I think, so anyway, so they started treating my conservative people bad, censoring them.
Yes.
Censoring. That's communistic.
Yes.
That's communistic. All right. Censoring the media. So I deleted my Twitter account. Great. Twitter, you're going to have to go through without me. I don't think Twitter knows who I am. So that's okay. But anyway.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and a lot in common, which is great to see from the martial artist background and all. And I really appreciate you coming on today, because I know you're a busy guy, and hopefully Stephen goes through Gilbert now on July 10th. I'll be watching it, and
I hope so.
Fingers crossed, it'll be a good year for Upstate Karate.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I thank you guys. Kyle, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Cheers,
and
man.
all the Wonderboy fans in Ireland. I'm assuming there may be a couple. I don't know.
There's plenty. There's plenty. All my students love Wonderboy. Every time I'm doing drills, if he fights at the weekend, I go, guys, look what he did today. This is what we're going to do. So they all know him. So,
well, I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it. Appreciate you reaching out. And I don't do a whole lot of interviews. Wonderboy does them all the time. He's a poor guy. Yeah, he does them day in and day out. But I do appreciate it whenever somebody comes on or asks me to be a part of a podcast or does an interview, because I give a little different perspective, about Stephen. And so a lot of people like yourself appreciate that. And I do thank you for that. And all our friends in Ireland, thank you for being Wonderboy fans at Wonderboy MMA on Instagram, Twitter. He's on Twitter too still. So anyway, I appreciate you guys.
We'll tag the posts, and we'll tag your Instagram and Wonderboys as well, and a bit of promotion, and we look forward to hopefully maybe in the near future meeting in person.
That would be great. I'll
keep you in touch.
I actually took two fighters over to Ireland. Ireland, we really enjoyed ourselves in Ireland. Very, very pleasant people. We really enjoyed our trips to Ireland. I took a kickboxer over one time, and then I took a guy fought for the UFC over there.
Pretty good.
We had a great time. Good
Ireland's a good place. It's a good place.
Yeah, it is. It's a great place. And the fans are insane.
Crazy.
Man, the Irish fans are woo. Yeah.
Especially whenever Wonderboy fought in New York in Madison Square Garden, I think it was 205 against Woodley. Like the crowd was crazy loud for that fight.
It was crazy. And of course, when Conor walks in the room, oh my goodness. You know what? You got to give that guy props. Conor McGregor, you talking about from rags to riches. I just hope the riches doesn't get to him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'd like to see the Conor Fire, the original Conor Fire back. I'm not sure if it's there or if it isn't.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So when he was up and coming, when he was flat broke, he's still an animal. I mean, you can't fault him. He's still a beast. But I'd like to see hopefully Conor can keep the original Conor Fire going.
Yep.
And because he's so good for the sport. So good for the sport.
He brought the UFC to a new level.
He brought MMA to a new level. Not just UFC. He brought all of MMA to a new level.
True.
He did for the UFC what Hoist Gracie did for fighting everywhere.
Mm-hmm. That's
you understand what I'm saying? So that's where Conor's at.
Ooh.
In my book, anyway. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but you got to give the man props for putting. Well, I don't know how to describe it. He's an anomaly. He's one of a kind. He's Conor McGregor. What can you say? A guy from a little country in Ireland. How's that?
And
a little, yeah. You know.
I don't know if you ever heard the story before, but Conor was fighting in MMA all the time, and UFC were never knocking the door. And Dana White was at a college in Ireland called Trinity, and all the fans there kept begging Dana, please sign Conor, please sign Conor. And Dana goes, I don't even know who Conor is. So he looked on YouTube, signed him the next day. 10 weeks later, Conor fights in Sweden, and then he becomes the biggest star in the UFC, only for the fans of Ireland begging Dana White.
Yeah. Hey, the passion, man. The Irish. That's why they call them the Fighting Irish, boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate you guys. We love you. Thank you so much. And hopefully we'll get to do it again.
Yeah. Hopefully, I have a couple of friends in America, and we're planning to go in America next year to go to a few martial arts schools. So South Carolina is going to be on the list. So I'll be in touch.
Yeah, okay. Come and see us. I think you'll be impressed with our facility.
Oh, I will be, surely. Definitely would.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ray. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
I am the greatest.
Be water, my friend.